Dude, there was a release, a Bloomberg report about a trove of Epstein emails. Did you guys see this? This is big, guys. This is a big deal, okay? There was a trove of Epstein's personal emails from 2002 to 2022 that were released. 2 decades worth of emails reportedly belonged to Jeffrey Epstein, shine a light on the late sex offender's relationship with accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell, and raise new questions about his relationships with Donald Trump and other well-connected political figures. Bloomberg News reported that it unearthed emails from Epstein's personal Yahoo account. They got his Yahoo, baby! While there's no smoking guns that expose potential accomplices, Bloomberg certainly seems to have revealed creepy emails from a lecherous man. For example, one moment Epstein is musing about the genetics of beauty with a respected neuroscientist, or showing praise on the women in his life. "You are the most important person to me," he wrote to one of his assistants, Nadia Marcinkova, whose lawyer has said she was a victim of Epstein's sexual abuse. The next, he is berating the same woman in a 425-word diatribe for her reluctance to dance, work out, engage in fun sex things, and manage his stress. "You should be ashamed of yourself," or registering displeasure after receiving a photograph of a 21-year-old woman from one of his female contacts asking, "What do you think?" And he said, "Fat and Asian, sorry," he replied. It's pretty gross, right? Other emails reflect the intimate relationship between Epstein and Maxwell, including more than 200 sent in 2008. The year Epstein was sentenced to prison. The report even cites a few emails that refer to Trump, including one in which Epstein tells Maxwell to remove Trump's name from a list of more than 50 politicians and business leaders. So they had this list of like elite figures, and he was trying to remove the name. The White House tried to downplay the report, telling Bloomberg this is just more stupid fake news playing into the hands of the Democrat hoax. Because, of course, 20 years of emails, gotta be a hoax, right? 1,000 victims, gotta be a hoax. Trump's name all over this shit to the point of where it looks like the Trump family circus, gotta be a hoax. So it's called Epstein's Inbox. Dude, look at this. A trove of emails reveals Ghislaine Maxwell's secrets. In a recent interview with federal law enforcement officials, aka Trump's personal lawyer, Todd Blanche. According to her telling, she was a one-time girlfriend turned property manager of his luxury homes around the world, yet was not privy to the inner workings of the vast influence machine or sex trafficking operation, which we know is BS because many of the victims have said she was even involved in the abuse. Okay, but hundreds of emails from Epstein's personal Yahoo account, which haven't been previously reported, shed new light on Maxwell's partnership with Epstein. They also contribute to longstanding questions about her credibility, including her truthfulness in a 2-day interview she had with officials from the Justice Department. That was the Todd Blanche BS, like perjury interview, if you will. The emails are part of a cache of more than 18,000 obtained by Bloomberg News, show that Maxwell and Epstein were closer in many respects than either publicly admitted. Maxwell opened at least one foreign bank account using one of his addresses, was a named director on one of Epstein's many revenue-generating companies, and traded stock in a company they were both invested in. Details that haven't been previously reported. So, man, dude, they were interlocked, okay? They were interlocked. The pair discussed undergoing a shared fertility procedure. Dude, that's crazy. They were going to have a kid, bro. Long after Maxwell's claims, she largely dissociated from him. They corresponded about discrediting women who raised allegations against them. You see that? Look at that shit. They corresponded about discrediting women that raised allegations against them. So they were corresponding about how to discredit survivors, including in one exchange where Maxwell said she planned to circulate compromising information on one of Epstein's abuse victims. Dude, that is positively disgusting. The emails include a spreadsheet itemizing nearly 2,000 gifts, luxury items, and payments totaling $1.8 million, with notations indicating they were intended for Epstein's friends, business associates, and victims. The spreadsheet, which was created by one of Epstein's accountants, includes a $35,000 watch earmarked for a Clinton aide, a former Clinton aide, a $71,000 purchase at a Lexus dealership for one of Epstein's lawyers, and other items such as lingerie, chocolates, some for teenage girls who later lodged sex abuse complaints against Epstein and Maxwell. The spreadsheet indicates that Maxwell helped Epstein arrange many of the items. Jesus, dude. Maxwell has maintained she was kept in the dark about details of his initial abuse case in the mid-2000s, yet the emails demonstrate her deep knowledge of the legal jeopardy he faced and show how she helped him strategize over even the most consequential details. Which means Ghislaine Maxwell's lying all over her fucking bullshit deposition with Blanche, which we knew. We know she's a liar. She was committing perjury in the civil suit with, Virginia Giuffre brought against her for defamation in 2016. They've caught her before. She's a convicted felon, a degenerate liar, and she is an abuser. All right, so Epstein's inbox, which contains messages from 2002 to 2022, but is most active between 05 and 08, provides an entirely different vantage point. Riddled with typos, unfinished thoughts, and missing punctuation, the emails are hardly the final word. They do not provide complete answers for some of the most persistent questions. How he amassed his fortune. There's no evidence that prominent figures were abusing minors. There are indications that many of the emails were deleted. But see, nevertheless, this trove contains revelatory, often disturbing details about the intricate facets of Epstein's life. It offers new insight into how he leverages wealth and powerful social network, which stretched from Wall Street to Washington to Westminster, to beat back grave criminal accusations. And it showcases his idiosyncrasies, his indignation as he's being investigated, and his callousness towards the young women, many of them teenagers, who entered his world. One moment he's musing about the genetics of beauty. Next minute he's saying, praising a woman, right? We read this earlier, praising people like 𝗫𝗫 and then he's going on a diatribe about how awful she is because she's not pleasing him in the right way. Which, guys, it's a hallmark of abusers. Abusers, they do a push-pull, right? Where they're constantly either in a state of like reeling the woman in and wooing her and taking care of her and feeding her lies and promises, or they're like abusing her and berating her and breaking her down. And what they do is they break them down, and then the minute they detect they're going to lose them, they start wooing them and turning on that charm and that like pull, that magnetism. And then once they get them back in and they're feeling safe, then they start breaking them down again. And it is absolutely a form of psychological warfare, and they're just really good at it. And there's other things that are going on, which is they have an innate sense of finding the women that are in tough financial situations or they're struggling with some type of particular trauma, and they just know how to massage it right. They're like, so, you know what I'm saying? They have a sense for it. Maxwell has said her work for Epstein lessened considerably after around 2003. In her interview with Blanche, she described her role in his life as very, very diminished by the time he went to jail. Yet the analysis of the email showed the pair exchanged at least 203 messages in the first 6 months of 2008 at a rate of more than one a day. About a month before he was to begin serving his jail sentence, Maxwell took pains to comfort and protect him as his life was collapsing. I'm devastated. I can't even process. I know this does not help, so I'll stop now. Epstein and Maxwell exchanged at least 650 emails in all. All right, they range from how to move a 40-pound tortoise to and from Epstein's private Caribbean island to the filing of an insurance claim for a crystal chandelier to her travel to exotic places. Several show how Maxwell nurtured Epstein's ties with political figures, celebrities, and tech billionaires by offering to visit the island or a seat aboard his jet. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do.